An extensive display garden stretches out behind the science barn of the Max Planck Institute for Plant Breeding Research in Cologne. It hosts numerous old and new crop plants. Today, the potato takes center stage. As part of the science barn visiting team, Gerd Hombrecher shows many plant relatives of the potato to his young guests. Potatoes belong to the family of Solanaceae. Other very common crop plants like tomatoes or peppers, as well as less well-known edible plants such as physalis, also belong to this family.
Die kenne ich, glaube ich. Das sind doch solche Lampion-Dinger, oder?
Ja. Mach mal auf.
Und die hat mit der Kartoffel, also die ist mit der Kartoffel verwandt?
Ja.
Okay.
Das ist auch eine der Kartoffel aus der Kartoffelfamilie.
Not all plants from the family of Solanaceae are edible. Some are even rather poisonous and are at best used in medicine, like Nicandra physalodis, also called the apple of Peru. Even those parts of the potato plant that grow above the ground, like leaves and seeds, are poisonous. Only the tubers are edible, which grow underground.
Wer hat schon mal eine Kartoffel also irgendwie draußen liegen lassen? Was passiert mit der, eine Kartoffel?
Die treibt aus, oder?
Ja.
Die treibt aus, das ist lange. Aber was passiert ganz schnell? Die wird grün. Ja. Und dann ist auch der Teil giftig und den Teil sollte man dann abschneiden, großzügig.
Potatoes come from South America. All potatoes that are grown today originate from different land races from the South American Andes. Apart from many new and old potato varieties, the display garden also hosts wild potatoes.
Gibt es hier irgendwas, was die Pflanze unglücklich macht, beeinträchtigt, abfrisst?
Ja, so
Also
ein
hier sehe
Konkurrent
ich schon was. Das ist ein Kartoffelkäfer.
The larvae as well as the mature beetles both feed on potato leaves and stalks. Within a very short time they're able to strip a plant bare. Since the potato beetle does not have any natural enemies in Europe, pest control is necessary. Pesticides are the most common means to achieve this. Farmers have to put up with up to 20% lower yields. However, fungal diseases are even more devastating for potatoes.
Hier ist ganz deutlich zu sehen Altenaria, was solche Fenster macht auf den Blättern. Was wir nicht sehen, noch einen schlimmeren Feind von der Kartoffel, das ist Phytophthora, ein Pilz, der Kraut- und Knollenfäule verursacht.
Kraut- und Knollenfäule heißt, dass die Pflanze und aber auch die Knolle angegriffen wird.
Genau, nämlich da wird erst das Oberirdische angegriffen und wenn das weg ist, dann können diese Pilze können auch noch in die Knolle gehen. Also damit ist die ganze Ernte. Und da hat es ja auch schon oft Hungersnöte gegeben oder Totalausfälle gegeben, wenn man jetzt nur eine Sorte hatte.
In order to see what is done in terms of research to control Phytophthora, the group visits the laboratory at the Max Planck Institute for Plant Breeding Research. As part of basic research, Christiane Gebhardt and her team try to find out what genes are responsible for resistances to potato late blight. With the aim of detecting these genes, 25 different potato plants with diverse resistances are to be infected with the pathogen. But in order to do that, the fungal pathogen has to be bred. This is done using potato leaves, because it does not grow very well on artificial culture medium and could also lose its aggressiveness.
Dieser Pilz hat die Eigenschaft, dass so
This fungal pathogen is genetically very variable, so by evolution it can easily overcome single resistance genes.
allein genommen leicht überwindet. Sie sich vorstellen, also
If we take such a Phytophthora epidemic, then that involves millions and millions of single individuals. When there's one among them that carries a mutation that circumvents the resistance, it will gain an advantage over all the others and spread accordingly.
sich entsprechend vermehren.
By infecting their potato plants with Phytophthora, the scientists hope to find hints as to what genes are involved in the process of resistance. Upon infection, such genes would then possibly show increased or decreased activation. This can be analyzed by recording the different levels of RNA transcripts in the cell.
Jede Zelle hat
Every cell has, well, let's say 20,000 gene products. And now we would like to know exactly which of these 20,000 products has something to do with a plant being more resistant to a pathogen attack or more susceptible. We are looking for those 10 or so that are really important.
Die 10, die vielleicht wirklich wichtig sind.
Klingt nach viel Arbeit.
Ja.
Since a resistance that is based on only one gene is always very easily overcome by a pathogen, the scientists pursue a different approach.
Es gibt eine
There's an
andere Art
alternative kind of resistance, the so-called field resistance, which relies on a larger number of genes. We are not sure yet how many exactly, maybe 10, maybe 100, maybe 500, or maybe 10 very important ones and 100 less important ones.
Unwichtige. Und die zu finden, das wäre fantastisch, wenn man jetzt so
To find those would be great. To know those 15 genes that enable a plant to build up a better basic protection.
Pflanze, die einer Pflanze eine bessere Grundresistenz geben. Keine absolute Resistenz.
Not a total resistance, but to restrict the fungus in its spread.
Langsam sich vermehrt. Wenn ich also jetzt
If I could limit the growth rate by, let's say, 90%, I might have to apply fungicides to my plants only once in one growing season instead of 10
mit
times.
dem Fungizid behandeln statt 10-mal.